Hello. So please post in your name and we can start with the live stream. So, yeah. Hello. Name, please. You can post in your name and your questions, okay? So, we were discussing in the morning that about freshers not getting chances in pharmacovigilance. Please put in your questions in the chat and we can continue with this, okay? So, we were discussing that I keep on getting this question from students, freshers, and even professors as well that PV is the best career option, but freshers are not getting opportunities. What should we do? This is not a wrong question, but it is based on wrong assumption. So today we are going to discuss this assumption that, and we will correct these assumptions, not to discourage you, but protect your career decisions. Guys, I request everybody to please post in your questions, okay? So let me be very like clear upfront. So this is not gonna be a motivational session or let's say sugar coated, but it will be a very career reality session. Okay. So why this confusion exists in PV? I request everybody to please post your questions in the chat. Okay. So continuing with the session, like why this confusion exists that PV has been okay. First, please mention your name as well. Okay. Handler 447. Which side? Om. Okay. Hi, Om. So you don't know which side you should choose, CDM or PV, but I love data. If you love data, then you should be familiar with what kind of data handling you are talking about. If you love data, then do a data analysis certificate. Become a data analyst. You'll be handling a lot of data. We discussed in today's session in the morning that you should do what technical skill, get technical skills for data analysis, such as what Excel, Power BI, SQL, Python, and get a proper data analyst certificate. This will also help you in your career. Okay. See, CDM or PV, they are both interrelated. You can learn, you can work on learning Power BI. It is like just like a bigger brother to Excel. Then you can move on to SQL and Python. You can do certification courses. There are free certificates available for everything. We have many platforms providing free certifications for all these. Okay. So we were discussing the topic that over the last few years, PV has been marketed as stable, in demand, less lab work, better work-life balance. All of that is partly true. Okay, but what was not told clearly is this: that PV is not a fresher-friendly mindset domain. It does have fresher roles, yes, I agree, but the thinking expected is not fresher level. Okay, PV exists because of regulatory pressure and audit work or audit risks. Companies don't hire to train students, they hire to reduce regulatory risks. Okay. So, the biggest misconception that the fresher have this: if I learn PV theory or do a course, I should get a job. Let me say this very bluntly: PV hiring does not reward your knowledge, it rewards judgment. Okay. Knowledge can be taught, but judgment cannot be unless you have practiced thinking like the job. So, moving on, what hiring managers actually see in you as a fresher, guys. I request everybody to please paste your questions in the chat, and I'll answer one by one. Okay. So, whenever a hiring manager looks at a fresher CV on one question dominates. Okay, that if I am the manager and I'm looking at a CV of fresher, so one question will surely come into my mind: that will this person increase or decrease my QC workload? So, not they. I will not look at your marks. I will not look at your college or from where you've done your degree, or I will not look at your certificates. But I will look for decision clarity, documentation thinking, and audit safety. And this is where most freshers lose the opportunity, even before the interview starts. Okay. Hi, Prakash. In the morning, your question was left. Okay. So, 7 years of experience in ICSR and aggregate report. What should I do for growth? See, Prakash, you have aggregate reporting experience. You should move on to senior level, senior position in the same field. Aggregate reporting is a very highly competitive and highly paying skill set, and you should be able to get a team lead position or a manager position, a select not manager, or let's say associate manager position by now. If the companies are not hiring for that position, you should at least add on some certification, highly like paid certificates. I would suggest do some high valuable paid certifications related to these things. And if you are interested in a different domain or a different mindset, you want to try some other domain for PV, let's say you want to move to Signal. So you should learn about Signal, add that skill set to your resume, and move on. Don't feel stuck. ICSRs, see, with after 7 years of experience, like years of in this field, and your experience in ICSRs, that is a good thing. But now it's high time that you should move away from ICSRs. Okay, Anshita, it has been 2 months since I joined as a clinical research associate in a startup. So if I wish to get into CDM or PV, will I be considered as a fresher? No, Anshita, you are in this field for 2 months. You can join CDM profile. CRA, like in PV, they will, if you are willing to join a case processing profile, you will be considered as a fresher if you switch now. But in CDM, your experience will be counted. Okay. If you join PV, yes, if you join PV profile, your case processing profile, then you will start at the starting package if you are switching now. If you are like joining a year later in CDM, if you are moving on to CDM after a year, then you will get a proper hike. I trying for job post 2 months to get into PV. Can you guide me to see Chandru? Like everybody is looking for this. That like I don't want to increase anybody's hope, but you see, you should understand this. Market is very volatile as of now. The jobs are fluctuating, but there are vacancies. Okay, get your resume straight. Again, the same simple direct approach. Get your resume straight, prepare yourself, and then apply. People lose jobs even after getting into the interview calls, or even after, like, let's say, to the next level documentation, or even they, if you are targeting a job without proper preparation nowadays, then you will lose your opportunities very quickly. So you want guidance, see, like I was telling you in the beginning, you have to create a mindset that you can think about like a PV associate. Prepare a very good looking resume, and it should be impressive, not just simple. It should be impressive as well. Okay, and then you can apply. If you are not getting opportunities in the coming 2 to 3 months, like as the market rules, in the coming 2 to 3 months there will be a lot of vacancies, because financial year changes, and again, companies like post in appraisals. And Chandru, we have had this discussion. I have posted about resume video. You can watch that video. The template is there on the OneDrive. You can use that template and you can prepare your resume, and we can review your resume together. Yes, Om. See, uh, data analytics is a separate, completely separate profile. You can use it, like you can become a data analytics scientist, or whatever the companies give that profile name. These skills are highly useful. Data analysis is one skill that everybody should learn. I will endorse the skill that everybody should learn on data analysis, data analytic tools, Excel, Power BI, SQL, Python, if you want to learn. Everybody should at least at least, if not Python or SQL, I would suggest at least Power BI and Excel, because Power BI is something that nobody knows, that there are multiple individual profiles in many companies for Power BI. There is a position called as Power BI dashboard developer. So if you are having that skill set in your resume, you will be separate from others. Yes, Om, you can surely apply for this. So, Rob, I worked as a business operational at Amazon with money of work, but I want to switch as a business analyst. See, Saurabh, it is a good thing that you are planning to do this, but you should add on to like courses or some executive certification to your profile so that you can easily switch to business analyst role. Okay. And home, yes, you can improve your skill set, like I told you, work on adding on to different skills, and you can like move on to clinical data analyst role. And to Saurabh, I would suggest do some executive MBA in business management, 1 year program. It will give you a boost. You can switch a year later, or you can get a very high package. Okay. No, no, Saurabh. Free courses in these kind of roles, free courses won't help. I would suggest go for some extremely valuable paid certifications. Like I'm telling you, if you are aware about Nasimonje or any institute, they provide executive MBA courses for 1 year. Bro, what is ECBA? So, like I told you, don't rely on, if you want to move to senior level, okay, MBA in marketing, okay. So then it's a good thing you are planning to do this. You have all the skill set, you should try. But still, again, don't rely on free certification. Everybody knows in business analysis role, free certifications are not that valuable. Okay. Karthik, your experience in pharma manufacturing will not be considered in CDM. Yes, Om, life is not easy, bhai. Like, it's is very difficult. Even I am also myself trying to learn analysis like SQL and Python and Tableau as well. And I also think like same. It is very difficult, but we have to do it. And coming back to Karthik's question, your experience in pharma will not be considered if you are willing to join any clinical profile or like PV or CDM or anything. And like if you are able to like explain your gap in that profile, it will be a, you have to explain your gap in a very highly skill set manner, that how and why you have a gap in your resume. Okay. So I hope I answered to everybody. Let's moving on to the topic that we were discussing. Let's I will discuss now PV skill set readiness. Like, okay, how you can make your mind to be ready for PV. Tripti, yes. In senior level, I will, like I was telling you, I think you just joined. Uh, there is a profile Power BI dashboard developer. Many CROs hire individuals with Power BI certification, Power BI skill set, and Power BI is used to represent data. It enhances your skill set. And Shrikant, and I'm compelled to be for now. I'm pursuing your form. No, Shrikant, for you, paid courses are not required. You have to just gain the proper knowledge and you can do some free certification to apply for PV interviews. Okay. It is no harm in doing some paid certification. Like paid certification, it's not like they are very expensive. Udemy is providing paid certificates on what, 300, 400 rupees. I have worked on similar documentation like 21 CFR, BMR, etc. Shrikant, BMR is not used in PV, brother. 21 CFR understanding is okay. You have knowledge, I get it, but your experience is doesn't align like with the requirements of companies nowadays. Because you are looking for your experience like equivalent to your experience now. Why companies will give your profile a choice or choose your profile, then there are multiple people available with the same domain who want to join anywhere. So continuing with the mindset for PV, yes, you can apply as fresher, but again you will be competing with pharmacy freshers with graduates clearly, and you have that knowledge. You can showcase your knowledge in the interview to impress the interviewer, and you can use your knowledge once you get selected to move quickly because you have knowledge about field. You can try if you want to experience to be calculated. No, you can try applying in core pharma companies who have PV department, like which have different PV departments. Okay, there's a difference in core pharma and CROs. You can try applying in core pharmas. You can reach out to somebody working in core pharma PV department. Let me give you one example. In India, Fresenius Capi, Sandoz, these are Dr. Reddy's. Yes, these companies. They have their PV department. You have worked in pharma field, you have experience, you have certification. You can try reaching out to these HRs and try to like gain this understanding like how come they are hiring and what is their expectation. Because in CROs, your experience will not be counted. Okay. So thanks, man. So continuing with the like PV mindset that we were discussing, like people look for like, do you understand that PV manages risk but not certainty? Do you know why incomplete data is normal in PV? Or do you know why common sense can fail audits? So if PV is all about definitions to you, still you're not ready for it. Okay. And then moving on to case intake and triage. It is not about what is a valid case. Everybody knows that what is a valid case. But do you know why each criteria exists? There's a difference between being like being prepared and everything. Can you explain that what happens if you wrongly mark a case as valid, or what happens if you miss seriousness, or how volume pressures affect quality? If you understand all this, then this is the real job of PV. Okay. Then moving on to seriousness and medical judgment. This is where mostly freshers fail silently, that severity is equal to seriousness, or hospitalization means always serious. No. If you cannot defend your seriousness decision in front of your quality reviewer, you will not survive in PV. Okay. So, moving on to narrative writing. Narratives are not summaries, okay? They are inspection grade documents. Authorities, regulatory authorities, whenever you are submitting a case to regulatory authorities, they don't review the whole case, okay? They read narratives. And that is the reason aggregate reports exist. They need complete summary of everything, and that are the narratives, okay? Auditors don't ask that do you work fast. They will think, or they will ask you, can I trace your thinking? Okay. Then moving on to coding and timelines. Medra, everybody knows that we use Medra for coding terms. Okay. Medra is not a tool. Medra is not a tool knowledge as well. It is reasoning. Like, why this PPT? Like, why this? If we are selecting a PT, then why this PPT only, and why not other one? Okay, timelines are not numbers to memorize. They exist because late data is delayed risk control. So everybody should understand this. Okay. So quality and audit awareness. Moving on to this one. PV is designed for inspections. Okay. I will again ask everybody to please post your questions in the chat, and I'll answer one by one. Okay. So PV is designed for inspections. If your logic cannot survive an audit trail, your CV will not survive screening. Now, hear this carefully, okay? The industry is not rejecting freshers, it is just rejecting unprepared thinking. And this is important. Not getting into PV immediately doesn't mean career failure. So, now moving on to, let's say, core PV domains. What is your understanding? Let's clarify what core PV domain means actually means. Core PV roles. What are core PV roles? No, Harshita, it is not at all important or not at all required even. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to upscale up. Like, if you can like explain everything in the interview, no, just by self-study, like I have prepared that book PV101, that is more than sufficient for everybody, for freshers specifically. Or if you can do those free certification courses, okay, you are good to go for the interviews. See, there is a fact. You have to understand this fact that these institutes, these coaching centers, they are somehow, they have created contacts with the HRs, or with the some third party contractors. Okay. So they charge very high amount to get you hired. Okay. But sometimes they just provide you references that you can apply this place, apply that place, and you will get the call and everything. See, Udemy, UMC, and other platform. Yes, Harshita, they are more than sufficient. It is basically like, again, moving to the point, your interview depends on what you know. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody over here, that like you have to understand the reality of PV. Okay. So, what are core PV roles like case processing, narrative writing, causality assessment, medical coding or meta coding, quality control, signal management, aggregate reporting, risk management? Okay. These roles expect decision ownership. Okay. Freshers entering here early are exceptions, not the rule. So, now moving on to the very difficult situation, that if you are not getting PV roles or if you are not getting calls expected, so what are PV adjacent roles? If you are not getting selected for a drug safety associate role, then what can you do? There are PV equivalent roles are what? PV operations, then literature screening, then call center jobs or medical information jobs or safety databases. Okay. These roles build workflow understanding without any ownership. Okay. Now moving on to, if you're not getting selected in PV, what else can you do? PV is like, let me say something which is very unpopular but very true. PV is not the only respectable life science career. Clinical research, which includes CDM, clinical operations, trial master files, medical writing, then regulatory and quality roles, regulatory affairs, regulatory operations, QA documentations, then health data analytics, medical coding, real world examples. Anybody heard about RWE profiles? Let me post in the chat. RWE. Read about this. This is one of the emerging domains. Then health informatics, then EHR data review. There are this profile as well in many organizations if you don't know. Okay. Many excellent PV professionals today did not start in PV. And this is very important for freshers to understand. Okay. Like, let's go by this, that filter the mindset. Let's try to filter the freshers mindset. If someone says, I want only PV, nothing else. Many of you are just adamant on that, I just want to do PV job, nothing else. That's not focus, in my view. That is the lack of strategy. Career are built sideways first, then upward. Okay. So let me close this discussion with, like, why I'm not, like, stop asking yourself that why I'm not getting PV roles. Okay. Start asking which role will make me PV ready in like next 6 months. Okay. Pharmacovigilance will definitely reward patients, but only when paired with the skill building, not certifications. Okay? I would say don't chase eligibility for PV profiles. Build your readiness. Showcase that you're ready for this profile. So for many such, like I'll also say Power BI dashboard developer, UID analyst. So I have given you four different things that you guys can target apart from PV. These are not gonna be very easy profiles, requires high level of focus. Okay, but this will definitely help you. If anybody has question, they can put in the chat. I'm happy to answer. Okay, Karthik, I have like mm, posted about this. There's a video, whole video on this topic. Okay, you can watch that video, and you don't have to worry, brother, in future about this. You can watch this video, and there are multiple videos about AI in PV. You can watch there. There's a whole lot like this discussion like this with fellow students. You'll get your answers, and ensure you don't have to worry in future. PV AI is getting incorporated in a very speedy manner, but you don't have to worry. Okay. So, is anybody having any question? So, to come to the conclusion of today's discussion in this live stream, that is, freshers are not looking at things that in a different way. Okay, they are like running after that. They want PV job, they want this, they want that, but nobody is focused on getting the skill set ready. You should understand things that being ready for the profile is more important than being desperate for the job. And you have to, like I was like clarifying in the daytime as well, you have to understand how PV works before entering into PV. Why PV exists, who's responsible for PV, how projects work, how the CROs function. Try to understand all these things. You'll get your answers that why you're not getting calls or why you're not able to move ahead. Okay. I would again request everybody to change their approach. If you're not getting calls from anywhere, change your approach. Okay, there are a lot of things to learn, there are a lot of things to apply, there are a lot of skills to enhance in your profile, and you will grow. And if you like today's discussion, I would again suggest you to kindly like the video, share the video with others, and comment about your experience and understanding. If based on learning, any fresher is interested in developing something or working on something, they can always reach out to me. I would be happy to help. Okay. Again, requesting if anybody has the question, the this is an open platform. Please post in your questions. Moving on to the next topic for today's live stream is communications, LinkedIn communication, as well as English speaking and writing. Tripti, that is like, okay. Uh, I just posted about the book today, and there are certain topics. I will guide all of you who are in the group, that how you can understand all these concepts. Okay. I have included this topic in the latest resource to understand, to simplify the concepts. I'll let you know about that. Okay. There are ways to understand this knowledge. We'll be having multiple sessions about this. I'll be explaining everything, and I'll be and providing resources as well, so that you can verify your knowledge and you can gain the required knowledge set. Okay. So moving on to the topic, communication, LinkedIn communication and writing, or let's say reaching out to somebody. I hope like you guys understand Hindi. Like whenever you are approaching somebody on LinkedIn to get a reference, then what are your expectation? Why should they just refer you straightforward? They don't know you. Even if some of you are approaching me for reference, then why should I refer you? It does not take anything for me to refer. And I do refer people whoever I feel that they deserve this reference. Okay. But getting a referral from an unknown person is a whole lot of big task. And you have to understand this. Not everybody on LinkedIn thinks alike. So rather than approaching for directly for the reference, you should ask for contact details of appropriate person who you can reach out to. You have to understand this, that first your communication should be up to the point, and the way you are communicating with anyone on LinkedIn, or whenever you are writing something, or writing an email, or updating your resume, or posting anything, your skill set should be visible in your post, in your resume, in your messages. Daily, on daily basis, I receive at least 30 to 40 messages where people are not even able to write proper sentences, and they have the, let's say, audacity to ask for reference. So, like I was telling in the morning, your knowledge will get you hired, okay, but your communication skill takes you to the next level. And communication applies everywhere, every aspect of any job profile that you are working on, looking for, or you are going to work. PV, CDM, academics, everywhere communication is the pillar. Technical skills can be learned, knowledge is like I can teach you anything, but communication that you have to develop, that is your task, to develop that level of communication skills that should impress other people. It's not about speaking very good English or fluent English and be very good at something. It's not like that. Communication is something that you should be able to achieve while trying to, like, make the other person understand. If you want me to understand something, you should be very much straightforward, fluent, and easygoing. It will help me understand your points. So I would request everybody to work on these skills, and in the next sessions or streams, we will discuss different topics. Okay. If anybody has any questions, please, the platform is open. Otherwise, we are good to close the stream for today. Okay. And moving on, there will be, like, I am planning to conduct mock interviews for everybody. So let's say starting next week, we can work on mock interviews. If anybody wants to practice questions or discussions, the platform is open. They can always reach out to me, and I would be happy to help you out. Try to research about the new profiles, and to Karthik, I would say try to, like, get in touch with the core pharma code colleagues and gain some understanding how their hiring process works. If there's no question from anyone else, we are good to drop this. Thank you, Dripti. Thank you guys for your time. Hope it was worthy. See you in the next time. Okay. Do like and do please comment on the video as well. It will be saved on the channel automatically. Thank you, everyone.